Some days you wake up with lightness in your chest. The air feels softer, the colors more vivid, and everything seems to fall into place as if the universe were choreographing every detail just for you. These moments are not chance, they are reflections of an aligned, coherent living frequency. You vibrate high and the world responds. But then there are the other days. The ones where your mind feels clouded, your body heavy, and situations tangle up as if the universe had turned its back. Even when you try to think positive, it seems like something invisible is sabotaging the flow, and you wonder, what is happening to me? Most people believe these ups and downs are normal, random, just part of life, but there is a subtle science behind these cycles. Your frequency is not just a reflection of what happens, it is the invisible cause of what manifests. And what many ignore is that this frequency is not born only from thought, but from the coherence between mind, heart, and body. When there is misalignment, when what you think, feel, and live are not in harmony, your vibration fluctuates. And the quantum field responds to this instability with equally confusing realities. That's why good days feel magical and bad days feel like punishments. But nothing is punishment. Everything is response. The good news is that you can learn to recognize, sustain, and restore your high vibration throughout the day. With small adjustments, with applied awareness and simple practices, it is possible to transform your energy field into a clear and magnetic signal. And by doing so, not only does your life change, you become a point of light that influences the entire collective field. You are not just matter, you are vibration in motion. Everything in you emits signals, your thoughts, your emotions, your heartbeat, even the way you breathe. These signals are not confined to your body. They are transmitted into the field around you, like invisible waves that influence and shape your reality. Your energy is a constant transmitter, not an occasional reflection. The human electromagnetic field is real, measurable, and deeply sensitive. Science shows that the heart is the main generator of this field, more powerful than the brain, and that it varies according to emotional state. In other words, it's not what you say that attracts, it's what you vibrate effortlessly, even in silence. You can smile with your lips and emit fear with your chest, and the field will respond to whatever is most coherent. This energetic transmission acts like a vibrational password. The universe does not respond to your appearance, your effort, or your scattered intentions. It responds to your base frequency, and this frequency is made of what you feel most consistently. That is why true manifestation begins in the invisible. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are, repeatedly. The good news is that this emission is not fixed. It changes with your presence, your breath, your consciously chosen thoughts. You have the power to recalibrate this transmitter at any moment. Every emotional choice, every pause to breathe with intention, every gesture aligned with the heart adjusts your emission. And this small internal adjustment has real consequences. If what you are living today is not in harmony with what you desire, maybe the question is not what is wrong with me, but rather, what signal am I transmitting to the field? This simple question can open a new path, because the quantum field does not judge or reject, it only responds, with accuracy, with precision, and with coherence. Most people live inside an energetic cycle that repeats without being noticed. They wake up with the same thoughts as the day before, feel the same emotions, react to the same situations, and so they continue to emit exactly the same frequency. Not by conscious choice, but by vibrational inertia. This is the invisible cycle that traps your energy. Thoughts generate emotions. Emotions produce chemical substances in the body, and these substances feed back into the thoughts, creating a kind of stable energetic signature, but often an incoherent one. You begin the day carrying yesterday, not because you want to, but because your field is still tuned to the same vibration. It's like trying to hear a new song without changing the station. This loop is powerful because it becomes automatic. The body, accustomed to the emotional chemistry you've sustained for years, starts to crave the same emotions, even if they're negative. It gets addicted to anxiety, frustration, worry. And so, even if you think about changing, your vibration continues to be that of the old self. The key lies in interrupting this pattern before it completes itself. To identify the first repeated thought, the familiar emotion, the tension in the body, to stop, to breathe, to choose a new state. This may seem too simple to work, but it is exactly because it is simple that it is effective. Vibrational change begins in subtlety. You don't need to break this cycle with force. You need to interrupt it with awareness. Every time you do this, you send a new signal to the field. And by repeating this gesture often, your energetic signature redefines itself. The invisible cycle loses strength and a new pattern begins to emerge. A cycle of coherence, presence, and vibrational power. When we think about energy loss, we imagine major crises, heated arguments, or deep traumas. But most of the time, it isn't the big impact that brings your vibration down. It's the small unconscious choices throughout the day. That's where your field fragments without you even noticing. Automatically reacting to a message. Tensing the body after a criticism. Getting stuck in a repetitive thought while doing mechanical tasks. These seemingly harmless actions slowly undermine your vibrational coherence. They don't just consume energy, they misalign your transmission with the quantum field. The body records each microtension. The mind adjusts to every unconscious repetition. And so, small drops in frequency accumulate and become the vibrational tone of your day. The worst part is that because they are subtle, you start considering this state normal. But it isn't. You were born to vibrate high. The discomfort is just a warning of misalignment. The good news is that these same small choices can become recalibration points. A conscious breath before replying. An intentional silence before reacting. A pause to notice the body, the environment, the inner state. Each micro adjustment is a way of recovering your frequency. It's not about living in constant alertness, but about developing a gentle, active presence. Observing with curiosity, not with judgment. And remembering, the maintenance of your elevated vibration lies in the fine print of daily life, in the small choices made with intention. For a long time, it was believed that the brain was the command center of our inner reality. But recent studies in neurocardiology revealed an even deeper truth. It is the heart that conducts the orchestra of your vibration. And when it is in coherence, everything in you aligns. The electromagnetic field of the heart is up to 5,000 times stronger than that of the brain. It not only emits powerful signals, but also directly influences brain activity, body chemistry, and the way we perceive the world. When heart and mind are in harmony, a physiological state of coherence is established. And that coherence is the stable foundation of high vibration. It's not enough to think positively. You must feel with truth. And the heart is the portal to that authenticity. Emotions like gratitude, compassion, presence, and love immediately raise your heart frequency into a coherent pattern, and the whole body responds, relaxing, expanding, releasing regenerative substances. You become a field of harmonic resonance. It is in this state that communication with the quantum field becomes clear. The universe reads your vibration with precision and responds in equal measure. When you feel with the heart and think with clarity, your external reality begins to reflect this internal coherence. You become magnetically aligned with the highest possibilities. Cultivating the presence of the heart is not poetic. It is scientific, measurable, and transformative. Every time you breathe consciously, focusing on the center of your chest, you are literally calibrating your frequency for a new reality. And this simple gesture, repeated with intention, changes everything. The beginning of the day is more than just a chronological moment. It is an energetic portal. In the first few minutes after waking up, your mind is still in slower brain waves, alpha and theta, the ideal state for subconscious reprogramming and vibrational alignment. It's when you are most sensitive, most receptive, and most impressionable. The most common mistake is opening your eyes and immediately diving into the external world. Notifications, news, demands, urgencies. This abruptly interrupts the natural field of connection with your inner self. Your body is still awake in silence, but your mind is already chasing chaos. And so, the frequency of the day is defined by noise, not by intention. Instead, try starting the day with a ritual of coherence. Before even getting out of bed, bring your attention to your heart. Breathe deeply for a few minutes. Bring to mind a memory of gratitude, an elevated intention, or simply the desire to be present. These minutes shape your entire field. This simple habit creates a vibrational momentum that reverberates for hours. When you begin the day with heart coherence, your nervous system regulates, your mind organizes, and your perception of the world softens. What once seemed like an ordinary day now carries synchronicity. What once felt difficult begins to flow. You take on the role of creator from the very first moment. The morning is not just a part of your day, it is the foundation. And the way you treat it determines the energetic tone of everything that follows. Make it a subtle sanctuary, a sacred space. Because it is in this space that the frequency of your reality begins to be decided. It is not the big stressors that drain the most energy throughout your day. It is the small vibrational shocks between one activity and another. This is what we call microtransitions. The moment when you move from one task to another without awareness, carrying tension, anxiety, and distraction without realizing it. Each one, if poorly handled, steals a fragment of your alignment. You finish a meeting and without pause, you're already answering messages. You close an email and immediately open a video. You leave an intense conversation and dive into social media. All of this seems normal, but it is creating constant ruptures in your energetic field. Your frequency begins to fragment, and the body follows with silent exhaustion. The nervous system needs microspaces to integrate. If you don't pause, don't breathe, don't reorient your attention, the body goes into overload, and even if you are resting, your energy is depleted. This explains why so many feel tired at the end of the day without having done anything physically demanding. It was fragmentation that drained you. The practice here is simple but powerful. Between one activity and another, stop for 30 seconds. Close your eyes, breathe. Bring your attention to the center of your chest. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? This small gesture restores your axis. It closes the previous cycle and opens the next one with presence. You reclaim command of your frequency. Microtransitions are inevitable, but when done with awareness, they become opportunities for recalibration. Instead of draining energy, they return vitality. You transform ruptures into rituals, and this new habit changes the rhythm, the quality, and the vibration of your day. There is a kind of tiredness that doesn't come from the body, but from a scattered mind. The constant dispersion of attention, switching tasks, thoughts, and stimuli without pause, creates micro-leaks of energy that drain your vitality throughout the day. Preserving your frequency begins with where you place your attention. Each time you give yourself fully to a single action, whether drinking a coffee, listening to someone, or carrying out a task, your energy concentrates. The field around you stabilizes, and the vibration of the moment rises. Full presence works like a protective field. It prevents your energy from being lost in distractions. This type of presence does not require rigid effort, but gentleness and intention. It's about slowing down the inner rhythm and returning to yourself, observing, being, breathing. It is turning the ordinary into the sacred. When you truly dedicate yourself to everything you do, something subtle happens. Time seems to expand, the mind calms, the body aligns. You become whole in that instant. Lack of focus is often a symptom of inner disconnection. You don't need to do fewer things, you need to be more whole in each of them. That is true energetic efficiency. Because presence not only organizes your day, it preserves your vibration. Presence is the soul's natural state. When you allow yourself to truly be where you are, the field recognizes your coherence, and it begins to respond with fluidity, synchronicity, and lightness. What once seemed simple becomes magical. What once felt like effort turns into flow. Your energy field does not exist in isolation. It is in constant interaction with everything around you. Environments are not just physical settings. They are vibrational extensions that directly influence your frequency. The space where you live, work, or pass through communicates something to your body and your field, even if you don't notice it. Disorganized, dark spaces, saturated with noise or lifeless objects, generate a chaotic vibration that slowly infiltrates you. You may be mentally positive, but if the environment around you carries disorder, your frequency begins to adjust to that lower vibration. It's like trying to meditate in the middle of a sound storm. The body feels everything. On the other hand, harmonized environments with plants, natural light, soft aromas, clean colors, and intentional silence sustain your vibrational coherence with little effort. They not only reflect your inner state, but also help nurture and maintain a higher vibration. The space becomes a silent ally of your presence. Taking care of your environment is taking care of your energy. A clean corner, a candle lit with intention, soft music, an open window, small gestures that renew not only the air, but also the vibrational field you emanate. You transform the space and at the same time transform yourself within it. By perceiving the environment as co-author of your frequency, you stop being a victim of external circumstances. You become the guardian of the space you inhabit, inside and out. And by elevating the place where you are, you also elevate who you are. High vibration is not fragility, it is expanded presence. But in a world where so many frequencies cross, learning to preserve your energy is essential. And one of the most effective ways to do this is through the conscious creation of a protective vibrational field around yourself. Not as rigid defense, but as a luminous extension of your inner coherence. Imagine, every day upon waking or before leaving home, a golden shield forming around your body. It rises from the center of your chest, from your heart, and expands in all directions. This field does not block true connections, but filters out dissonant vibrations, preventing external noise from invading your axis. This shield is not fantasy. It is sustained by your intention, your visualization, and most importantly, by the frequency you emit consistently. The more aligned you are with gratitude, presence, and authenticity, the stronger this field becomes. It does not repel the world. It organizes it according to your vibration. Using the golden shield is an act of energetic sovereignty. It reminds you that even in the face of external chaos, you can remain centered, that your vibration is a choice, not a victim of the environment. And that protecting your energy is not withdrawing from the world, but interacting with it from a place of wholeness. It is not about creating barriers, but about establishing healthy vibrational boundaries. The golden shield is the expression of your self-respect, of your commitment to your coherence. And when you activate it with awareness, you transform any space into sacred, simply by being present in it. High vibration is not a synonym for spiritual performance. It's not about acting happy or pretending peace where there is pain. The true elevated state is born from authenticity, from the ability to return to center with gentleness every time we get lost. And this return, over time, stops being effort and becomes nature. In the beginning, sustaining a high vibration may feel like work. You need to remember to breathe, observe your thoughts, recalibrate emotions, align your body. But like any new practice, there comes a point when what once required attention begins to happen spontaneously. You don't force, you flow. The key lies in consistency, not rigidity. By cultivating day after day micro habits of presence and coherence, your physiology begins to recognize this state as the new normal. Your body starts seeking lightness, your mind prefers silence, your energy automatically rejects what drains. High vibration becomes your home. This transition from effort to naturalness is the greatest gift of the energetic journey. You realize you no longer need to fight to stay well. You only need to remember who you are. And this remembering doesn't come from the mind, but from the vibration that has stabilized in your field. You are no longer trying to be, you are being. Living in high frequency is not about escaping challenges, but responding to them with another quality of presence. It is staying whole, even in the midst of chaos. And this serene stability is the clearest sign that your vibration is no longer something to be chased, but something that has been inhabited. Your frequency is not an accident. It is a vibrational choice made, moment by moment, between the noise of the world and the silence of your center. When you understand that what you feel, think, and do transmits signals to the quantum field, you realize you have much more power than you imagined. You are not a victim of chance, but a constant emitter of the reality you experience. Staying in high vibration all day doesn't require perfection, but presence. Small conscious choices, simple practices of coherence, and an attentive heart are already enough to shift the tone of your energy. It's not about never falling, but about knowing how to return with love. Your energy field responds to your intention. When you care for it, everything around you begins to reorganize, not by magic, but by resonance. Your elevated vibration becomes not only a shield, but a silent invitation to the everyday miracle. Life begins to treat you with the same delicacy that you began to treat your energy. And the most beautiful part is that, by keeping your frequency clean, you not only transform your own journey, you also elevate the collective field. Your gesture of coherence reverberates beyond you. Your vibration is service, it is living light, it is direction, it is the silent reminder that living in high frequency is possible, and it begins now.